She was born with a gift that brought light to others, but darkness to herself. Out of jealousy, her sight was taken, yet even blind, she saw what the world could not. This is the story of Odinaka, the girl whose eyes never lied. Story by Prexia Storytime. The evening sun bled across the red earth of Odinaka village. Palm trees swayed lazily, and the sound of pounding mortar echoed through the compounds. Smoke curled from thatched roofs as women sang old songs, their voices blending with the rhythm of the talking drum. In one of the quiet compounds near the stream lived Okafor, a humble farmer, his wife Ngozi, and their little daughter Odinaka, the child who, even from birth, carried mystery in her eyes. She was born with calmness, her cries were soft, almost like whispers. Elders said the child's spirit was ancient, that she carried the gaze of the ancestors. From her cradle, Odinaka could see. Not like others did, no. She saw tomorrows before they came. When Odinaka was just 2 years old, she clung to her mother's wrapper one morning and said, "Mama, Papa will bring another woman home soon." Ngozi laughed, shaking her head.
Odinaka, what do you mean?
Odinaka, what do you mean?
He will not do such a thing.
Your father loves me, he will not do such a thing. But 2 months later, it happened. Okafor returned from the market with a new bride, Chioma, a woman whose beauty hid the darkness of her heart. From the moment Chioma stepped into that compound, peace vanished like smoke. She smiled at Ngozi by day and whispered venom by night. Okafor, you treat that your first wife like a queen.
What of me? Am I not
your wife too? Her jealousy festered like a wound that refused to heal. And when she bore a daughter, Chism, her bitterness grew deeper. She wanted her child to be praised like Odinaka, but the villagers only spoke of the girl who sees tomorrow. Odinaka's now grown, her gift became both a blessing and a curse. People came from distant villages seeking her visions. She would sit quietly under the udala tree, her eyes half closed, speaking of things that had not yet happened. Her voice was calm, her tone certain, and her words always came true. Even the great seer of the land once bowed to her, saying, The child's chi walks before her. Do not harm her, for she is favored by the gods. But envy is like fire, it burns even the heart that holds it. One moonlit night, Chioma went to a dark corner of the village, to the hut of a forbidden woman, a spiritual mistress feared by all. I want to dim the eyes of that girl, she whispered. Let her stop seeing tomorrow. The old woman's voice cracked like dry wood.
The gods watch her.
Do not
what
do
you
this
sow
thing.
Will find your root.
The gods watch her. What you sow will find your root. But jealousy had made Chioma deaf to warnings. She took a calabash, filled it with blood of a cock, and spoke Odinaka's name 7 times. By morning, Odinaka's eyes clouded white. She could no longer see the world. Her mother wept day and night. The villagers wailed, calling it abomination. Yet, in her blindness, Odinaka smiled. Mama, she said softly, I can no longer see faces, but I still see hearts. She still felt the truth around her, she knew who carried good and who carried darkness. Her blindness was only of the eyes, her spirit saw even deeper than before. And it was in that blindness that fate brought love her way. One afternoon, as Odinaka walked to the stream with her wooden staff, humming softly, a young man on horseback stopped by the road. It was Prince Obinna, heir to the throne of Odinaka. He watched the blind girl as she walked, gentle, graceful, unafraid. Her song floated through the air like wine through the trees. Something stirred in him. He could not explain it. Days later, he returned to that same path, hoping to hear the song again. And there she was. Who is there? She asked softly, turning her head toward the sound of his horse. It is I, Obinna, he replied. Prince of this land. Oh, the prince, she smiled faintly. I cannot bow, but my heart greets you. From that day, he couldn't stop thinking about her. The prince began to visit often, bringing fruits, beads, and stories. He sat by her mother's hut and listened as Odinaka spoke about the stars, the river, and dreams. One evening, she said, "Prince, I saw something. A storm is coming to your father's house. But love will calm it if your heart stays pure." He didn't understand her then, but he felt the truth of her words. Soon, love bloomed like morning flowers between them. But news of their secret meetings spread like fire. The king was furious. The queen wept. "How can the heir of Odinaka marry a blind girl?" she cried. "What will the people say?" Even Chioma, Odinaka's stepmother, saw her chance. She went to the palace with lies dripping from her tongue. The king listened, and the war of hearts began. The drums of Odinaka beat slowly that evening. The sky was heavy with clouds, and the wind carried whispers from unseen spirits. The village could feel it, something great and terrible was about to unfold. Inside the royal palace, the king paced back and forth, his golden staff striking the floor with anger. "I will not allow this madness," he thundered. "A blind girl. A mere villager. Does my son wish to bring shame to the throne?" The queen, seated beside him, wiped her tears. "My husband, love is blind too. Perhaps the gods are teaching us a lesson." But the king slammed his staff again. "Enough. I will not have the prince defile the royal bloodline." Meanwhile, in a quiet hut by the stream, Odinaka sat cross-legged before a small flame. Her mother, Ngozi, sat beside her, holding her hand. "My daughter," Ngozi whispered, "I hear the king is angry. You must stay away from the prince." Odinaka smiled faintly. "Mama, how do you stay away from your own destiny? Even if I close my eyes, which I already have, I still see him in my heart." Her words were soft but firm, the way only those blessed by the gods could speak. Far away, under a twisted iroko tree, Chioma, the wicked stepmother, plotted with her daughter Chizim. "You will take what belongs to her," Chioma hissed. "You will win the prince's heart. The gods cannot bless two daughters from one house." Chizim, her beauty sharp as a blade, smirked. "Mama, let me handle him. Men are weak, they only need a soft voice and a smile." But as she spoke, the wind shifted. The air grew cold. From the shadows, an old voice echoed. It was the great seer, the same man who had once warned Chioma.
"Woman, you walk on fire again. Did I not tell you the child is protected? The gods see all things."
Did I not tell you the child is protected? The gods see all things. Chioma trembled. "Stay away, old man. My daughter deserves her place."
What you gave will return to you. Odinaka's spirit is older than your envy.
Will return to you. Odinaka's spirit is older than your envy. He vanished into the darkness, leaving the two women shivering. Despite the king's orders, Prince Obina could not stay away. Each night, he snuck out of the palace, his royal robe wrapped around him, and made his way through the forest paths to the small hut by the stream. There, Odinaka would sit waiting, blind, but smiling, as if she could see him coming. "Prince," she would whisper, "you came again." "How could I not?" he'd reply softly. "Your voice has become my path home." They spoke for hours, about the stars, the kingdom, their dreams, and what it meant to love something the world forbids. Odinaka sang for him, songs that touched his soul. Her voice carried sorrow and beauty, like wind through ancient trees. Even though she could not see him, she felt him, the warmth of his hand, the trembling in his voice when he said her name. And slowly, their love became a secret known to the gods alone. But peace does not stay long in a house touched by jealousy. One dark night, as thunder rolled across the skies, Chioma crept into Odinaka's hut with a pot of ashes, whispering strange incantations. She sprinkled the ashes on the doorway, muttering, Let her love turn to dust, let her heart forget him." But the gods of Odinaka were watching. That very night, Odinaka woke from a dream, her heart pounding. She had seen fire, snakes, and blood. A dark shadow crawling toward her. Mama, she whispered, something evil walks tonight. I feel it. Ngozi, frightened, held her close. At dawn, Odinaka went to the stream, knelt, and dipped her fingers into the water. The ripples spoke back to her in whispers only she could hear. The time of blindness is ending, the spirit said. The one who took your sight shall bear your burden soon. She wept silently, her tears mixing with the water. That night, while the world slept, Odinaka sat before her small fire. She raised her hands to the heavens and called upon the gods who had blessed her from birth. Chukwu, Chukwu, you gave me sight beyond men's eyes. Restore to me what was taken in jealousy. Let light return to its rightful owner. As she spoke, her heart trembled. The fire flared blue. Her white eyes began to glow. And then, she saw. For the first time in years, Odinaka saw the world, the walls, the mat, the moon through the doorway. Her vision was back. But as her eyes opened, somewhere else a loud scream was heard. Chizim, Chioma's daughter, fell to the ground, holding her face. Her eyes had turned bright red, unlike Odinaka's white eyes. She had gone blind. Chioma wailed, tearing her wrapper, running from one shrine to another. Great seer, help me. My daughter cannot see. But the seer only shook his head. Did I not warn you? The gods do not sleep. What you send into the world returns to your own home. Karma collapsed to the ground, crying. Odinaka has become a goddess. She has cursed us all. But the truth was simple, the gods had only restored balance. When the prince heard that Odinaka could see again, he galloped to her hut like a madman. He dismounted his horse and ran to her door, breathless. Odinaka! Odinaka! She stepped out, her eyes bright and filled with tears. Obina! I can see you. They embraced, and for the first time, she looked into the eyes of the man who had loved her through blindness and rejection. Even Ngozi wept with joy. The villagers danced, singing praises to the gods. But peace is never complete when jealousy still breathes in the dark. Chioma, humiliated and desperate, went back to the shrine of the forbidden woman. I will destroy her once and for all, she screamed. The old woman frowned. You fool! Do you not see? The girl is now a vessel of the gods. You cannot fight what heaven has chosen. But Chioma's heart was hardened like stone. She began a new plan, one that would not only target Odinaka's love, but her very soul. The full moon rose that night, big and red like fire. The wind was quiet, and even the animals kept silent. Something heavy was in the air, the village of Odinaka was in trouble. The people were afraid. Their crops were dying. The river tasted bitter. Goats stopped giving birth. Every house was full of fear. The elders gathered to ask the great seer what was happening. The old man came with his staff, eyes white with age and wisdom. He stood before the king and said slowly, "This evil is not from men. It comes from the land itself. A sin of jealousy was done, and now the earth wants a sacrifice, a pure heart to bring peace again." Everyone became silent. They all knew who the seer was talking about, Odinaka. Odinaka was sitting by the stream that morning, her feet in the water, when the elders came to her. She was calm, even with the trouble around her. Odinaka, one of them said, "The gods are angry. The people need your help. What must be done?" Odinaka stood, closed her eyes, and listened to the wind. After a long silence, she said softly, "The land bleeds because of jealousy. Someone used evil against me. To make peace, the gods ask for one who sees beyond, a willing heart, pure and kind. Only then will the curse end." Everyone understood what that meant. The sacrifice had to be her. Odinaka's mother cried. The villagers begged the gods to choose another way, but the seer said there was none. The gods had already chosen Odinaka from birth. When the prince, Obina, heard of this, he ran to her side. He fell on his knees and held her hands tightly. "No, Odinaka," he said, voice shaking. "You cannot do this. I will find another way. I will give up my crown, my kingdom, anything but you." Odinaka smiled sadly. "Obina, you can give me the world, but some things are not yours to give. The gods gave me this gift for a reason. If I don't do this, many will suffer. I was born for this." He held her hands tighter. "Then I will go with you," he said. But Odinaka shook her head gently. "No, my love. The gods ask for only one. You must live. You must make sure my death is not in vain." That night before the sacrifice, they sat together by the fire. Obina's eyes were full of tears. "If you go," he whispered, "you take my heart with you." Odinaka touched his face and said softly, "Then I will live inside your heart forever. Promise me you will not let sadness destroy you." He nodded, his chest heavy with pain. "I promise." At dawn, the whole village gathered. The air was cold. The drums were slow and sad. Odinaka walked barefoot to the sacred ground, wearing white cloth with small shells in her hair. She looked like an angel sent from the gods. The elders formed a circle around her. The seer raised his hand and spoke.
Odinaka, child of vision.
Odinaka, child of vision, do you give yourself freely to save your people? Her voice was calm and strong. "I give myself. Let peace return." The seer began his prayers. The drums grew louder. Smoke from burning herbs filled the air. As the sun rose, a strange wind blew, and everyone knew the gods had arrived. Odinaka felt her heart beating fast. Her body shook, but she did not run. She whispered, "Let the land live." Then, slowly, she fell to the ground. Her breath grew faint until it stopped. The people screamed. Obina cried like a child, holding her lifeless body. Her mother fainted. Even her stepmother, Chioma, wept bitterly. The curse was broken, but the price was heavy. That same week, the river became clean again. The crops started growing. The goats gave birth. The people were saved, but no one could smile without tears. Prince Obina locked himself in his palace. He did not eat. He did not speak. Every night he dreamt of Odinaka. In one dream, she came to him, shining bright and smiling. "Obina," she said gently, "do not waste your life in pain. Live in the light for me. I will show you someone pure, who will help you heal." Then she disappeared. For many nights, she returned in dreams, showing him the image of a young girl laughing by the river. One morning, the prince traveled to another village and found her. Her name was Edeora. She had kind eyes and a heart full of peace. Obina remembered Odinaka's words and took courage. He spent time with Edeora, spoke kindly, and slowly his heart began to heal. After some months, they married. On the wedding day, the whole village danced. Even Chioma came, older and full of regret. She fell to her knees and begged Odinaka's spirit for forgiveness. Obina smiled again, though his eyes still carried a quiet sadness. Every night, he looked up at the stars and whispered,
Thank you,
Odinaka. You will always live in my heart." When Edeora gave birth to their first child, Obina named her Odinaka, saying, "Because the name of light must never die." Years passed. The village never forgot her. The elders told her story to every child. Her name became a symbol of sacrifice and love. The seer would say, "Let no one allow jealousy to live in their heart, for it destroys all it touches." And whenever the moon shone bright and the wind whispered through the trees, people said they could still hear Odinaka's soft song, a song of peace, love, and sacrifice. Thanks for watching. Subscribe, like, follow, comment and share for more interesting African tale stories.